What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NYJF pod. Fireman Ed, Rob Carpenter, Jason Coppell, and myself. Excited for tonight with a very special guest. We got Kyle Stickles in the house, who announced the 2023 Jets draft pick. What a week it's been since we signed off last Thursday. Ed leading chants on the Pat McAfee show. What a time to be alive. Ed, how was that experience for you, man?
Oh, unbelievable. Listen, Pat McAfee, that show speaks for itself as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I actually got off that show, and I think we got mutual fans of one another, Boston, Connor, after it was all said and done. So, all good, all good. I mean, he hates the Jets. I hate the Patriots, but he seems like a nice enough kid. He didn't know me. I think he felt a little better after talking to me a little bit. So, and we talked like off the air. So
that's awesome. I thought both sides handled it very professionally.
It was all good. It was all good, and I appreciate them, giving our show a plug like they did, and it was all good stuff. It's all good stuff. All of our guys protected Fireman Ed, and I appreciate it. So,
like I said, Ed, he didn't want that smoke.
That's it. You
changed that narrative real quick.
That's it. So it's all good. It was good. And he is something else. That Pat McAfee is something else, man. I like him a lot.
That was the greatest thing, because I put that clip together at like 6 a.m, and I got that live. I knew that if we got that response live in the morning, if it came across, their eyes, if they saw it, it would make for an amazing segment on the show. So it was funny. We had the group text going, and I was like, I know they're gonna invite Ed on the show. They're gonna invite Ed on the show.
You said
an hour after I posted it, it had because Boston Connor, he retweeted it, and then it just went crazy. And it's got over 1 million views now. It's got like 1.2 million views on that video. It's crazy. So
I think my favorite part was like right after the first chant when McAfee he was trying to keep going for a little bit. He didn't realize that Ed still had, he was still quiet down. We still got one more to do. I'm like, he doesn't know. We always do two. It's not just one. It's always two.
It's always two, and you got to quiet the crowd. He liked that. He got a kick out of it. I could see his reaction the second time. He's like, oh. It was good. It's all good. So
we go from that and all the excitement with OTAs. Connor Hughes tweeting out, he's never seen this many people in the building before. So, of course, 30 minutes into the first practice, Rodgers tweaks his calf, sets off an entire frenzy on social media. At the end of the day, it's a strained calf in May. Me personally, I'm excited that he's there. He's in the building. He's taking on that leadership role. Whether or not he's actually on the field right now throwing passes when it's this early, to me, I don't think it really means all that much. Rob, are you reading anything more into this or no?
Absolutely not. He was there for the first part of the workouts. They've been on the field, so the first part of OTAs is not really that big deal. The one positive that may have come out of it is that Zach actually got to practice. So and he got to practice with the guys that actually he possibly will be thrown to when Aaron is finally done here after a few years. But a tweak of a calf in the second day of OTAs, not a big deal for Aaron. We've been around this league too long, knows how to take care of himself. And, the biggest thing would be if this was during the real part of training camp, then, you might get a little concerned. But you still got months before that happens. So I'm not reading anything else into that at all. And nobody else should as well.
The haters came out in a hurry.
Man, it was so fast that
hey, haters came out, man. You got that venom, man. That venom's alive and well. I can tell you right now, man.
It came out so fast because the media was there, and that's the first thing they said. The media was all over it. Like, here we go again. And
back page of the paper already.
It was crazy.
We're just so conditioned, though, like as fans. I mean, with Edwin Diaz, what happened with the Mets, and Sam Darnold with his mono, and then even Zach when he gets hurt, it's like these things just happen, and then you just see like the tweet that Diana Rossini puts up, and it's like he's off on the sidelines. Clearly, something's wrong, and you get that feeling in your gut, and you're like, oh, please don't do this to us again.
It's May.
I know, but Rob, you got to understand. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you understand. Like, we're a battered fan base, man. We're.
It's also the first time he's been at OTAs in how many years? Like,
right.
He hasn't been pushing sleds in how many years? So this is all kind of new for him. I like the fact that he's there. He's building up body strength and shit like that. Like, to me, that's important, especially at his age.
It's great. They want to know him. They want to get to know him. That's
And it just
all
shows
about
leadership.
bonding. Rob knows that. I mean, the bonding in the locker room, that's the most powerful aspect of the game is the locker room. The guys getting to know one another and, joking around and, what kind of guy is he, right? I mean, it makes a difference.
Ask every former player what they miss most about playing. The friendships they make in the locker room. You miss the camaraderie in the locker room. You don't miss the game that much. You don't miss the practices, but the guys are around, basically 24 hours a day for the entire season and sometimes in the off season. That's what you miss the most.
So I felt that way with the Firehouse. The Firehouse reminded me so much of sports because, the kitchen in the Firehouse, you're a very busy, active company. There's just so much ball breaking going on and it's constant joking and kidding, and it wasn't going out and going on 6,000 runs. It was with the guys just having some fun, and that. So the locker room at that level's got to be through the roof.
Most of the time you're around those guys more than you're around your family. So that's why the friendships get built up so much. You keep those friendships for a long time. So especially when you play with guys for a long time on the same team. And like you said, Ed, you guys going on your fire runs is just like playing in a game. Yeah. Then you get back and you get to relax at the firehouse, and that's you guys get to chop it up a bit, like you said, in the kitchen. So that's just like us being in the locker room. Same thing.
Listen, everybody loves the fact that Rogers is, man on a town. He's doing the right thing. He's showing his face. He could be hiding. All right. And not doing anything. He's not. He's out there with sauce, and come on. He's doing the right thing. He's doing all the right things. This is going to be the biggest hating that I've ever seen. And listen, we're haters. We're haters. When the Patriots were rolling, we were hating. Mm-hmm. And what was the greatest line ever? And I tell you all the time, and it came from Rob Gronkowski, the Gronk, when he said, "They hate us because they ain't us." That's the truth, man. And that's how it's going to be with the Jets this year. They hate us because they ain't us. Stack the wins, baby. Stack the wins. Oh.
I guess that's a perfect segue into the opposite end of the spectrum with Mekhi Becton coming out. And I can't understand this situation at all because you got so many good vibes around the team between the Aaron Rodgers trade and even him personally. Like, it's a completely new Mekhi Becton, at least appearance-wise. He's in shape. He's been working out. Nobody was talking about what he did last year, coming into camp 400 pounds. Like, nobody was talking about any of that. And then he gives all these quotes to Newsday. He questions the organization for having him out there on a bad knee, questions moving from left tackle to right tackle. Is this just a guy that maybe doesn't want to be here and he's planting that seed, for his eventual trade or release?
Nah, I just think that he's a little uncomfortable right now. The fact that they have moved him to the right side, they haven't given him the spot back on the left side where he was drafted to play. And I think you can see down the line, that part of it maybe he knows that he may not be here, so he's gonna speak his mind right now. It's all season. He's gonna speak his mind right now, and he only has basically 1 year left here to prove himself. And he's just like, all right, I'm gonna put it out there. What really went on from his point of view? Now, everybody's not gonna take it that way. Everybody's gonna look at it as this guy's just got gripes with the team. He doesn't want to be here. All of that. He's just giving his point of view, but at the wrong time. Right now, there's just so much going on that's positive around the team, and to come out and honestly, he should have known better in a way, because there is so much positivity around the team right now, and there's always going to be that one beat writer or two beat writers who's just looking for a quote that actually is going to set it off in the other direction, and that's basically where it went. It just kind of went left here, but he'll get over it. Everybody else will get over it, and next week it'll be something else. And hopefully it's on a positive note, and nobody will be talking about what Mekhi said.
But whatever happened to earning it? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, the guy's been, Ed always says it. This is his line. The best ability is availability, right? So the guy hasn't been around the team for 2 years, basically. And, he's been injured. It sucks. But, to be fair, he showed up what he could control. He showed up super out of shape to camp last year and got hurt. He's going to blame other people for that, whatever. But it's a weird thing to me because he's been busting his ass, and we were talking about it last week. If I was going to give out the toast of the week to any player on the Jets, I would give it to Mekhi because of how in shape and how focused he looked. And then it was such a weird move to go from that to giving all these quotes to Newsday and setting up this weird situation. Like, dude, if you're the left tackle that you think you are, you'll earn that spot. Go earn it. Go out in training camp, show you can stay healthy, and show that you're the best player. They're not going to put you on the right side out of spite. If you've earned it, they're going to give you the spot. So they're trying to win a championship, right? So they're going to put the best players out there. So to me, that was what was disappointing to me. I was not a fan of him doing that in any way whatsoever. I'm sure the coaches were not a fan, and certainly that's not going to help you get that left tackle spot. The only thing that's going to help you do that is going out on the field and earning it. So
the only thing I could say in his defense is that when you're in the O-line, we all know that the O-line is it takes the longest to gel for the O-line to get together. So they have to start early to start trying to gel early. And in Mekhi's defense, he came into camp out of shape last year for one thing because he had to rehab basically all off season. And I think that was part of his point. He didn't make it come across the right way. The fact that he had late season surgery. He got hurt late season surgery where they were trying to force him to practice where it didn't work out. And for him to go to the right side, which he hasn't played. So him moving over to the right side is basically saying, I'm learning a new position after coming off an injury. You know what I'm saying? So if he was back on the left side where he felt comfortable, that would be a different situation. But so you can't earn the left side if you're not playing on the left side. That's just coming from his point of view and from a player's point of view. But like you said, if he goes out on the field and he busts his ass and he's doing it the right way on the right side, then if something is to happen, it's a quick flip back over to the left. He just have to flip his feet around and get used to being back on the left again. But that's natural for him. So hopefully he just comes in with the right mindset, in July, and he just goes out and plays. But I don't.
Timing is everything, man. Timing. Rob, you said timing. Timing is everything. Here he is. He's dedicated. He has taken the weight off. He has busted his butt. You would think he would just put his head down and say, let me go to work. And that's it. Why get involved in that at this point? First off, you have no leg to stand on because you've been gone for 2 years. You can't, nobody wants to hear that. No matter how big, listen, I'm a Mekhi Becton fan. I want to see him do well. We all do. I mean, that's just obvious. And he's going to be a big part of the team, hopefully. But you can't, there's too much positives going on. What are you getting into that whole end of it for, man? It's just bad, Talk to the coach and tell the coach. Go into his office. Sal's office is always open. What you got to go to the media for? He's making a tweet. I am a left tackle. I mean, come on, don't do it. Why are you doing that? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I really hope we're going to need this offensive line is going to really need Mekhi Becton. If you want to be a championship team, he's going to be a big part of the solution as far as I'm concerned. So I hope he's got his head on straight because
the Jets need him and he needs the Jets. I think there's enough motivation on both sides to make it work this year. But beyond this year, I don't see any way he's going to stay a Jet.
Well, we'll see as that goes. First off, Mekhi's for his own career needs to have a big year.
But that's the thing. When he does,
money. Wants to make money. He's got to make money. So they
if and when he does, he's going to have this number in his mind that he's not going to come off of because he's going to feel like he's a premium left tackle who was wronged by the Jets the past 2 years as he's blaming them for the injuries. So after this year, I don't see any way.
1 year at a time.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it because at the end of the day, if we accomplish the goals we're trying to accomplish this year, that'll work itself out. I mean, if he wants to leave, so be it. What can you do? But
that's the other reason I tell you that come July, August, do not be surprised if there's another tackle in this team. I think there's going to be a linebacker and I think a tackle. I'm telling you, those two spots, they're going to
after June 1st.
They're going to address those two spots because they're not going into this thing without having that. I'm telling you, they're not.
I think after June 1st, if there isn't a premium linebacker out there, I think Quan Alexander's coming back.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Because they seen him go on that visit that he took, and they know there's teams out there that will give him a chance. But I think you're right, Ed. After June 1st, if there's a good enough left tackle out there, I think the Jets will try to go grab.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's in the plan, and I don't sway from it. Could be a trade. Could be a trade because they're loaded at defensive end.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Jay, we got our special guest ready in the house.
We do.
Yeah.
Bring him on.
Do it.
There he is.
Yeah.
Legend.
Wow, what's up, man?
Man. Love it. He's got his Garrett Wilson jersey on.
Yeah.
Let's go. You did some job, kid.
Thank you.
You made Jet Nation very proud.
Absolutely.
Very proud.
Absolutely.
You might be taking over the helmet one day.
I think he's
Kyle,
ready
tell
right
me
now.
Tell me a little bit about like what that was like. I just want to give you a quick little story though before you get started. I was just telling your mom, in the pre-production, but when on draft night, so I'm watching the draft in my living room, and I have a group text with my fiance and my fiance's mom. My fiance's mom can't stand football. She doesn't watch football, and all of a sudden I get a text right after you did your thing, make the pick and everything, and she goes, "Oh my God, that little Jets fan was the coolest kid I've ever seen in my life. You must be so proud that he's a Jets fan." And I was laughing. I was like, "Where did that come from? You're watching the NFL draft?" And she was like, "No, my husband had it on in the other room, and I just happened to walk in at the time." But it's amazing. Like she's all the way out in Houston. It's amazing to me like how many people are watching the draft. So like, did that moment kind of kick in when you walked out on stage and saw all those people in Kansas City and knew how many people were watching on TV? Like, were you nervous at all, or were you thinking like, I'm about to rock this? Because you look like you had it completely under control.
I was pretty nervous leading up to it, but I'd say like once I got out there, I just kind of let it go because I knew I had a bunch of people watching at home and everywhere, and I didn't want to let them down.
Great.
There you go. That's
Go.
what's up.
That's great, man. You did one heck of a job.
Great job.
I couldn't do as good as you did. Oh, you did a great job, kid. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So now that you're going to be tied to Will McDonald for the rest of his career,
Yeah.
like pretty much, do you have any extra juice? Like, are you going to rock a Will McDonald jersey? Is that like your guy now? But I see you're rocking the Garrett Wilson. So
They should be sending them it.
You should have a whole lot of Will McDonald stuff by the time the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
have you spoken to Will at all?
No, not yet.
We got to
Not
Yeah,
yet.
make that happen.
Not
Make
yet.
that happen, for sure.
In the future.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So Kyle, you're about to turn 14, right?
Yeah.
So you were 1 year old, if I have my math right, when the Jets last made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I take it you don't have any memories of that. So what would it mean for you this upcoming season to finally cross that bridge and get to the playoffs? How cool would that be with Rodgers, especially?
That would be amazing. It's been a while, and I'm pumped for this season. Excited to see what Aaron and the team can do.
What made you a Jet fan? How'd you become a Jet fan?
My dad has always been a Jets fan, so I was kind of born into it.
Hey, good,
It's the same
man.
story as
Good.
Like all Jets fans, born into it.
Good for you. Good for you. I love it. That's great.
So when we saw like the energy that you had and everything, in my mind, look, there's been a lot of people over the through the years. Eventually, Ed's not getting any younger. We got to win a Super Bowl while Ed's still nice and young. But my question is, like when I see you leading chants and how fired up you were, it makes me think like, I know Ed said it before, but like, you have any aspirations to be like the eventual chant leader inside that stadium? It feels like you'd be perfect for that job.
Yeah, maybe.
Good for you.
We got to get you trained up. We got you on with the right guy right now. We got to get you trained up. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull out me, Kevin, Rob real quick and just have you and Ed on there. And let's see maybe if you can show what a Kyle Stickles led chant in MetLife Stadium with Ed might look like. So hold on. Let me
There you go. Here we are. All right.
Yeah.
You know, when you're gonna rock the house, right? You know what you got to do. You got to, like you were doing. You were doing this. Come on, get up, and then you want to do with your ear. You want to go. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. And then, you know what we do, right?
Yeah.
When everybody's going crazy,
Mhm.
calm them down. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Let me get your arms out there. J!
G! G! Jets!
That's great, kid.
That was awesome.
That was good. That was good. That was good.
That was a good one. We'll make a clip of that. We'll make sure we get that out and get the stadium in the background. See if we can get your first stadium-led chant. All right, now are you planning on going to like the games this year? Do you guys have season tickets in your family, or?
No, we don't have season tickets, but we always go to a few games every year. And I'll actually be at the home opener Monday night.
All righty, yeah. Let's go.
Let's see if we can link you and Ed up and see if we can get him on the screen, Ed.
Ed, you gotta find him. You gotta find him in the stadium.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'd love that. That'd be an honor.
It'll be rocking that night.
Oh, it's gonna be rocking. There's no question about it. It's 9/11 too, so it'll be even more so. I'll have my FDNY jersey on that night.
Kyle, how do you see opening night playing out? You think we're gonna get that W against Buffalo?
I think we can. Yeah.
Final score prediction?
Maybe I think 17-24.
Nice.
I like that.
Scoring game.
Nice.
Keep Josh Allen under wraps. Get that defense cooking.
That's it. Get them cooking.
Get a few more INTs over that kid.
Cool. All right. Well, look, let's get some comments in here. We'll show what's going on. Ed just adopted an honorary grandson. There you go. I love it. Cool. Well, Kyle, we appreciate you joining us, man. Definitely we'll reach out to you. We'll see if we can set something up to get, to get linked up in the stadium on opening day. And we appreciate everything you did at the draft. Hopefully Will McDonald will have a Hall of Fame career that was started by you, announcing him at the podium. So, I mean, just great job all around, Kyle. And, happy to see that you're doing well.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for being a Jet fan. I appreciate that. We need more guys like you. All the best, kid.
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get my video that night on the draft?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, man. Big fan of yours.
All right, kid.
See you Monday night.
Be well.
Dude.
See you Monday night, man.
That was awesome.
That was cool. That was real cool.
Love that kid.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of myself when I was his age and all of us. I mean, Kev, you remember what it was like being that young and pulling up the Jet, like being inside a Giant stadium when I was his age was pretty much the coolest thing on the planet. Like, I mean, not that it's not still that way, but like just thinking back, like going to the games with my dad and like,
that's what it was all about. Cause it wasn't about the product on the field. I mean, I was growing up going to games in the early 90s where, the teams were terrible, but the atmosphere was friggin' amazing. It was 80,000 people. You knew everybody in your section. I was 2 sections over from Ed. Like that was what I was locked into. I took my cues from him, when to get up, when to do the defense chants. And it just, you created an atmosphere that felt like 80,000 family. Like that's what it felt like.
That's why I always laugh when I hear guys say, he stepped away. They were no good. They're clueless. I mean, just totally clueless. We were there for Rich Kotite days. I mean, that was insanity there.
I got a funny story for it. I was there the Rich Kotite year when we went 1-15. I was in Arizona for our one win. We beat them. That was the craziest game. That game, like Adrian Morrell ran for like 200 yards, and like that was Keyshawn's rookie year, and we almost blew that game. But I mean, oh my God, that was the one win we had that season. I was there, and I mean, we
did not have a lot of fans there at certain times, man. I can remember a lot of times doing those chants, and it was half the stadium there.
Yeah, there's no fair weather Jet fans. I always laugh when people are like
crazy.
Fair weather fans. Get out of here.
It was crazy.
I'll tell you guys a quick story about that season real quick. So we knew in Philadelphia that Coach Tate had checked out during the season. Like, it's like, man, this guy's checked out. So we're watching. So we ended up watching game film of the Jets because it was a common opponent. So literally the Jets offense on one drive ran the same exact play 6 times in a row and completed the pass 6 times in a row. I'm sitting in the meeting room and I'm watching this film like, you got to be kidding me, like 6 times in a row. And the pass either went to Corbett or Keyshawn on all those plays. And I think Wayne caught like 4 out of those 6 passes on that drive. And I'm like, the same exact play? Who's the offense coordinator over here? But it worked for that series. And then the next series, they tried it again and it was shut down. I'm like, these guys are literally running the same play.
Went for a pick 6 the other way.
Yeah. I'm like, these guys are the same play over and over and over again.
Oh
like,
my God.
That was and that's exactly what so much Coach Tate had checked out for the entire season.
There was so much talent on that team. That team had it was loaded, man. Keyshawn, Corbett, they had Aaron Glenn, they had. I mean, you just go across the board.
Well, you knew it because Parcells came and just about took them to the playoffs.
Yeah, next year
they went 9-7.
Yeah,
and crazy. I mean, come on. Had the old halfback option pass.
Oh, Leon Johnson
in Detroit.
Oh, my earliest memories.
I remember it well. That's why I hear these people. I'm like, you don't have a clue, man. You have no clue. We went through a lot of bad seasons, like way more. Like if you go from, I started doing that chant in '86. If you start looking at those years and you'll see we didn't make the playoffs a lot. We started making the playoffs when Parcells came, and then we got who was after him?
Herm Edwards. Well, the 1 year without Groh, and then Herm Edwards.
It was Mangini, right? Mm-hmm. And Rex. We had a run there of, I think it was 14 or 15 years when we made the playoffs 7 or 8 times.
Yeah. And we were winning games in the playoffs too.
People don't remember that, but that was the probably most success.
And if Chad doesn't break his wrist, if Vinny doesn't tear his Achilles,
the one with Vinny,
heartbreaking.
We should have won in Denver anyway. We should have won the game.
I know. 10-0 lead.
It is what it is. I was there in '83. I wasn't Fireman Ed. I was there in '82 when we were at the Mud Bowl. I was there. I was with part of the Gas Nose gang. We were at the game from College Point. And, and then, the whole thing. I don't need to get into the whole thing. I became Fireman Ed in 88 or 80 when I put my helmet on. I didn't get on the job till 87. So I was doing the chant before I was on the job.
Lean times, man. Lean times.
Lean times. That's when I had hair.
The only thing that got us through those games.
We were talking about hair. We had hair.
Exactly.
That's great.
The only thing that got us through those games was Fireman Ed and Gate D at halftime. It was worth the price of admission just for those 2 things alone, man. Gate D at halftime was something else. We could do a whole show on that.
Somehow I actually remember that as a kid, which is bad.
It was crazy. You could bring all coolers into the game.
Yeah, we used to bring in no joke, Ed, back in the day, we used to bring in, we would tailgate, but then we would bring in these glass jars of shrimp cocktail, a full-on pitcher of what we called lightning. That was our family tailgate punch. And we just bring this jug full of liquor, just pass it around, pouring it in cups.
Yes.
You could bring anything you wanted into the stadium back then.
It all stopped 9/11. That's when it stopped.
Yeah.
Well,
in the new stadium, obviously not allowing any of that.
It stopped before then.
Yeah.
Stopped before. It started 9/11. They didn't want all that stuff. So when everything started, they were shutting down everything.
So listening to Kyle talk about 24-17, can you guys imagine if the Jets win that opener on Monday night? And then,
I expect us to win that opener.
I know, but what I'm saying is
I expect us to make a statement that night.
So do I. But imagine the feeling in Dallas after 2-3 straight days of boozing at my bachelor party, rolling up to the tailgate, and what we're going to be thinking on the way into that stadium. And don't let them go out to Dallas and come back to New York 2-0 at that point, because then things are going to start getting a little bonkers.
This is going to be more dangerous than Carolina.
Stack the wins, baby. Stack the wins.
Big time. Maybe Kev will find it. We'll get you a wife out there in Dallas, man.
Go 2 for 2, right?
Never know.
Cool.
Jay, you want to jump into the future props?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so right now, all these odds are according to DraftKings. We got the Jets Super Bowl odds right now at plus 1,800, conference plus 1,100, and this I think this one's a little bit high actually. Plus 280 for the Jets to win the division. I think the Jets and Bills are pretty close. So plus 280 right there. I think that's pretty good odds right there.
Those odds are going to change so fast after the first game.
Yeah,
the first game, those odds are going to change so fast.
Oh yeah,
they're going to come way down.
I'm telling you, that Buffalo team is reeling. They don't believe that they're reeling, man. That was a monster loss to Cincinnati up there in their house, and they were the Super Bowl favorite. Most of that whole year, they were looking at Buffalo, and we're catching them. They're coming in for the first game. Our fan base is out of their birds with Aaron Rodgers. Telling you, man, it's right there for the taking. There's no reason we shouldn't win that game. We're gonna win that game. I'm telling you.
Stephon Diggs didn't look too happy at the end either.
What's it? No, he's steaming. There's a lot going on up there. They got Leslie Frazier stepped away. I mean, there's a lot going on up there. You know, nobody's talking about it, but they will. They'll start talking about it as it gets closer because there's some definite unrest there with, you know, and I think there's pointing fingers at both sides of the ball.
The crazy thing is with the Jets beating them last year here, you know, not too many people are going to talk about that. But if it happens again, it's going to be a big deal about Buffalo because, you know, I don't see things getting better up there. A lot of guys are actually going to be, you know, on the bandwagon of, all right, the run is over and the window might be closed, even with, you know, Josh Allen being that kind of premier QB. They just don't have enough around him. And for whatever reason, you know, at the times of need, they just can't get over the hump. You know, of course, it was devastating two years ago in the playoffs against Kansas City. You know, 13 seconds. You know,
blame their defense.
No one will ever forget that 13 seconds.
That's it.
And the debacle with that. And then last year, you know what I'm saying? So the window is closing. It's closing fast, and I think the guys on the team actually see that. So that's why we saw a little bit of the comments from Diggs and some other players. You know, so if they don't start fast next year, it's not going to get better. It's going to get a lot worse.
Noah.
I saw a tweet today or yesterday from Dove Kleiman, which is really interesting. And I'm going to see if you guys, you know, can guess this. It's probably pretty obvious at this point, but tweet out most turnovers in a one-score game over the past 3 years. Who do you think is number one on that list?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, number one by far.
Wow.
Number one by far. 36 turnovers in one-score games. Justin Herbert's second with 30. Derek Carr is third with 29, and Dak Prescott is fourth with 28. You know who's not on that list? Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you know that. You see his numbers. He just showed his numbers. What I was just looking at it, and with Adam Shine, who's showing his numbers from his back-to-back MVP years.
Oh,
see those numbers?
Those
numbers are
insane.
Single-digit turnovers.
So, and you heard? Did you hear him on Shine? Did you listen to it?
I heard a couple clips. I haven't heard the whole.
He's pumped up, man. He's got. He says, "Is it possible you have a chip on your shoulder?" He says, "Yeah, it's possible." He goes, "You know, it's possible he has a chip on his shoulder. Is it possible that he's really happy here?" It's a combination of two. He goes, and Adam Shine says, "That's a bad combination for the rest of the NFL." So you got to stay healthy. Knock on wood, and let's go, man. Let's enjoy this journey.
No doubt. So we'll jump to the regular season win totals. Pretty much even odds for 9.5, which I think is crazy. That's pretty much free money. There's no way the Jets are not winning 10 games this season. If you want to get some better odds, you can go over 11.5 for 3-1, or you can get 9-1 odds at 13.5.
We
So
taking that one.
money on that.
It's aggressive. Over 13.5 is an aggressive bet.
That's an aggressive one. Yeah.
14-3 or better. I mean, that's a 14 wins. I mean,
that's yeah. Well, we'll see. I think
3-1 for 12 wins. I don't think is crazy.
I think they're going to win 13 games.
Listen, that first 6 games, they make it through that first 6 games. Don't feel bad when that 14 is creeping up near the end of the season.
You're right there, Rob. You're right there. You know,
that first 6 games, man. That's a.
I can't believe we're talking like this.
That's a crazy gauntlet to go through that first 6 games. If they make it through that, man, that's going to tell the rest of the league that these guys are for real, and everybody else is going to be really paying attention. You're going to hear the media start to bring up everything about the Jets and that you can find. Like it's going to be like when Rex was here, the clown circus in town. The media is going to be like that, man. It's going to be a frenzy around here, like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, you got pulled. We got a lot of our beat writers, man, have a lot of they bring up a lot of just negative stuff, man. That's what I mean. I just read it today in the Post. I think Brian Costello was saying that our defense beat all backup quarterbacks. And he was giving that statistic with 2-9 in, like it's just it really is they're bad. They really are. They're they bring you down like this, and the craziest thing is that they got to be there, like you can't get them out. And, it can't be, you played, Rob, that cannot be a helpful thing to a team when you're looking at these guys and their little weasels.
Well, for one thing, the veterans on the team will tell the young guys which guys actually are pretty fair.
Right.
And which guys to look out for. That's why I'm actually pretty surprised about Makai, what he said. And he wasn't aware of what they were actually trying to fish for, because the vets will tell the rookies, these guys are going to be fishing for every little quote, even if it's something that you don't mean in a negative way, they'll spin it that way. They'll take an entire segment of, you can speak for 2 minutes and they'll take the 5 seconds of a quote that you said and make it seem like it's just the worst thing that you said and take it way out of context. But, you'll find out real fast which guys are the real weasels in the locker room, just looking for stuff like that, and which guys actually stay away from, which guys are actually fair, with their questions and the way they write. I see it now, and I'm not even a player. So even if I go out to practice or around the team, I know which guys are lack of a better word, a piece of shit. But
it's really amazing.
I talk to you'll see the guys that I go back and forth with on Twitter. Those are the guys I know that are pretty fair, and the guys I actually speak to when I'm out of practice. So I try to stay away from the guys that actually just try to bring that negative narrative to everything that the team does. These guys trying to bring a negative narrative to Aaron Rodgers' first day in the building. You know what I'm saying? So that's just part of what they do, man. And most of these guys will find that out real fast, how it can turn on them real fast.
And it's crazy because they're powerful. Right. And what bothers me the most when I hear these guys talk to me, like, all right, this weekend, it's Memorial Weekend. All right, so you're going to be around the table having a beer or whatever, and they're going to bring up stuff, right? Here's what I don't get with people. I say, when they read something, I said, who wrote it?
Right.
Who wrote it? And you can't tell me. You just read it and they believe it. What are you talking about? What's the agenda? Who wrote this? It used to drive me out of my mind. Mike Lupica was one of the worst. He was so bad he was. And oh man, he wrote something about me one time, and it was funny. I seen him. This is funny stuff. This is a little story. It's the old Giant Stadium. So I'm in on a Sunday morning. He's got his fighting the lip. Something what was his column? It was called something. Anyway, Sunday morning he's bashing me for whatever reason. I go up for an interview in the old Giant Stadium up the elevator. I'm on my way down. The door opens. It's Mike Lupica. It's just me and Mike Lupica in the elevator. He just went. Well, head back.
You don't want that smoke.
That door couldn't open fast enough.
They won't say most of what they write to your face.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Imagine being a player and it just, I'm a fan. I mean,
most of the guys, when we were still in Hofstra, most of the guys knew to stay away from guys like Semini.
Yeah.
I may have told you guys this at one point in time. Like he was a weasel of a dude, man. Like he used to try and sit outside. So at Hofstra, in the locker room doors, they opened to like there was a really small players' lounge where like in between practices where we would just go watch TV for a few minutes. And if a bunch of guys were in there, you can come in through the front door and walk past the reception desk, and the door to that lounge area from inside was right there. And this guy used to sit over there and try to listen to the conversations through the door, and then try to write stuff about it, man. So every time we would go in there, everybody would open the door, just to see if anybody was standing outside the door, and so it's guys like that, man, that drive you crazy, because they'll come up with a quote and you'll be like, where the hell did he get that from? Like, where did he hear that? Like, who said it? And then you find out stuff like that, like the guy's actually listening through the door of the lounge area, where it's like, come on, man. Like, so you find out real quick, man, which guys actually got a bad narrative about the team and want to write, bullshit. So he was one of them.
It could never be me battling back and forth with the Jets beat reporters, man. It's positive vibes only in my life nowadays, man. I've never had an argument with those guys in my life. Don't even know what that's like.
I tell you, it's unbelievable. But now you add all the phones, and everybody's got a smartphone, and now everybody's an investigator. Now everybody, something goes on. Here we go. The phones go out.
The good thing about it, you can catch them now.
Yeah.
So now with the phones and everything, you can catch those guys actually trying to be weasels and like, man, hey, this is you.
That's a good.
Yeah, this is you.
I tell you, when I'm in the stadium, I mean, you got to watch everything you say, because you have people that are audio beat.
Yep.
Just take, you really got to watch. Like, it's crazy, but that's the life we live in right now. So it is what it is.
Crazy times.
Yep.
So we got our next prop. I don't even think I have to ask about this one. Minus 150 for the Jets to make the playoffs. I mean, barring a Rodgers injury, I can't see a scenario where the Jets miss out on the playoffs this year.
No.
Nah.
Nope. I hate even hearing that word. That's where your haters come in. Oh, he's got to stay healthy. I said, what are you talking about? He's always healthy. It's so bad. They just want to they want to put their foot on your neck and just hold you down. It infuriates me. It makes me like nutty. It really does. It makes me nutty because, it's our time. People have had plenty of time. There's been plenty of fans that have had plenty of time with these fan bases. I don't want to hear it. I tell them, I said, I don't want to hear it. You had plenty of success. It's our time. It's our turn. Now it's our turn. We get a turn. We want a turn. We get a turn.
That's what it
Definitely
is.
been waiting long enough, man.
Going on a merry-go-round. The merry-go-round. We keep going around. Well, I want to get on. I want to turn. Give me a turn.
Ed, this one might be your favorite prop, actually. Looking at the total division wins, the over-under right now, and this is crazy, is set at 3.5. I mean, there's no way the Patriots are winning either of those two games, and I don't see any scenario where the Patriots or the Bills are going to sweep us. They're not winning that game on 9/11, so I feel like this is another one. Free money, over 3.5.
If we're going to win the division, we're going to win 5 games in the division. If you're going to win a division, and I'll take 6-0, but 5-1 will win you the division. So you got to get 5. You got to get 5 wins. You want to win the division, you're going to need to get 5 wins. 4, I don't think 4 is going to do it. I think you'll need.
4's going to have you tied with somebody.
Huh?
4 is going to have you tied with probably the Bills.
Yeah, it could be, and then it goes to other thing, common opponents, the whole bit, or conference record first. So we'll see.
All right, we got some player awards. Rodgers right now 14-1 for MVP. Garrett 22-1 Offensive Player of the Year. A couple candidates for Defensive Player of the Year. Sauce at 15-1. Quinnen at 30-1. Will McDonald, some decent odds. Defensive Rookie of the Year 18-1. And a
Kyle
sleeper bet
Stickles.
that I kind of like. Rob Saleh, Coach of the Year 15-1.
It's not bad.
I tell you, this is going to be a big year for Saleh. I mean, this is the third year. You know, it's nice when we got cohesiveness. You got to see these guys now. The defense actually, most of them have been playing together for a few years. It's he'll have a shot. He'll absolutely have a shot because this is his year.
They make the playoffs. They make the playoffs. He's going to be in Coach of the Year consideration.
Right. Well, we're plus 280 to win, so 2.8 to 1 to win the division. I feel like if we win the division, Robert Saleh is winning Coach of the Year. No, I mean most likely.
I would think so. Yeah.
With
He's
that
going to
kind
be
of
in the conversation, regardless. Yeah.
Yeah.
And ending a 12-year playoff drought, he's absolutely going to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So last up, we got some over/under player props. Rodgers on total passing yards. Kind of a high number, I feel like 50.5, which would be a little less than 250 per game. Touchdowns are at 30.5, which I absolutely love that one, less than 2 a game. And then the only other player that's listed right now is Garrett Wilson at 1150.5, which is only 48 yards more than what he had last year with Rodgers now at quarterback. So I absolutely love that. And you got him also over or under 8.5 touchdowns.
Only thing I worry about with Garrett Wilson is now there's more talent around him. So
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I literally just going to say that. Lazard here in the tight ends, and Brees is going to be used out of the backfield quite a bit. He might end up right around that same number that he had last year, not much more. That'll be the only thing that will keep him down. It's just the fact that Aaron is familiar with Lazard, and so he's probably going to get many of the red zone touchdowns. To be honest with you, because Lazard's a big boy in the red zone and one of Aaron's favorite targets down there.
30.5 touchdowns feels like a good number to me because, I mean, if you think about like Fitz's year in 2015, what do you have, 30? So, I mean, beating that by 1, I think he can do it. That was a big year. Actually, that was the last time we were in Dallas, 2015, right? Like that was a fun trip.
I showed up when he was rocking the chants at Fox and Hound.
I forgot that you were there. You rolled in late.
Dude, I bought a $600 like red eye flight the night before.
Yeah, you weren't missing that.
So fired up.
In the middle of this magic.
We were on a 4-game winning streak.
What a time! And then we came home and beat New England, and then like we talked about with Bilal ending the season in Buffalo. Man, that was rough.
Still not over that. We get our revenge week 1. Jomo throwing out a nice player prop here. Breece Hall, comeback player of the year, 22-1, not bad. If he's ready to go week 1.
He will be.
Rob, what do you think with his knee? You think he's going to be able to give it a full go pretty much from day 1, or you think they're going to have him on a pitch count a little bit until he gets fully back in the mix?
I think he's going to be able to go full go from day 1, but they probably won't let him go full go from day 1. Yeah, they'll temper his practices during training camp. But I've seen some video of him already running and the cuts that he's making. But they'll limit him with the contact, during camp, and probably just put him on a pitch count for the first couple of games. But once he shows that he's ready to go, full steam ahead, and first couple of games don't bother him, they'll put him back in the rotation like he was last year.
How do you think they handle that with the backups this year? Like, who do you think is going to get a decent amount of reps? Do you think it's going to be Michael Carter, or do you think they go to the rookie early on, or kind of curious?
It's probably going to be a mix. To be honest with you, if since I don't think they're going to put Breece in there, full go from jump. They're gonna have all those guys actually rotating.
They'll all be getting a little bit of a rock.
Yeah, I think Bam will probably. Honestly, I think Bam's probably going to be number 2. And Michael Carter will probably be like the third down guy. And the rookie will be mixed in there as well because you got to have his speed on the field. Just for that threat. But once Breece shows that he's full go, it's just going to be like Aaron having his running backs in Green Bay. One is going to be the big banger, and the other one's going to be the breakaway guy, and Brees is going to be that breakaway guy. And I'm pretty sure they saw what he did to them, last year in Green Bay. So I'm pretty sure Aaron is excited to have him, behind him.
It's a good point on Saquon Barkley. I respect it.
I gotta ask.
And I think Brees. I actually think Brees has actually had conversations with Saquon about the comeback and how long it took him to get back, and the fact that Saquon was actually put right back into the mix. Once he was fully healthy, so they didn't really put him on a big pitch count. They kept him down during training camp or whatever. But once he was ready to go, they put him back in the mix. That's actually and most of the teams crowded the box. You got 8-man box against him because they didn't think Daniel Jones was actually a good enough passer. So I think that's why he struggled a bit. Coming on his first year coming back from the injury, but once everything opened back up, he showed what he's back to Saquon. And I think right from the get go though, with the team the way it's constructed right now, especially with Aaron back there, they won't be putting 8 in the box. So Brees will have free runs out there. So
Rodgers is going to go ahead.
Go ahead, Jay.
Before we jump into this, what the news about the Patriots cheating again? Ed started to talk about this, and then we went live. I'm going to pull us all out and see if Ed wants to chat about this. I'm going to let him have the stage here.
Well, listen, Belichick is always doing something. It never fails. His teams are always doing something. I mean, if you talk to Marshall Faulk about what happened in that Super Bowl when you had Brucci calling the plays, I mean, it goes way back, man. Come on, this guy's out of control. He's out of control. He don't shake hands. He doesn't do interviews. He don't shake hands. He's just a miserable clam face, chowder head. That's what he is.
I love when he goes out of tangent.
Yeah, he just is. He's always got to push the buttons. It's always something. Always. And it really does make you say to yourself, what is happening? Why does nobody else get these things? Why is that? Nobody else gets
that is the question. Why does nobody else get caught like this?
I mean, it's unreal.
That is the real question.
It is what it is. Listen, I want to just smoke them. That's it. I want to roll over them. This is 20 years. This is over 20 years of losing to them. It's coming to an end abruptly.
All right, you know what? I want to do one thing real quick because I see that Kyle is still in the studio in the background. Respect to Kyle. So we're going to bring Kyle back in. Kyle, let's see if you've I'm just curious to see if you've learned, everything that Fireman Ed taught you, 20, 30 minutes ago. So let's do a little chant. Let's see if Kyle can get the troops rallied up. Let's your stage, Kyle. Give it to us.
Put him on the spot?
Yeah, we're going to put him on the spot.
There you go.
We're not in mid-season form yet. We're still in preseason form, but that's solid, Kyle. That was a good effort. We're gonna get you trained up. We'll get you ready by opening day. Cool.
Well done, man.
You want to hang in here for the last question or two, and then let Kev take it away. What do you got, Kev?
I'm trying to find the one that I was just about to post. Thoughts on the Brandon Eccles suspension that just came down about 2 hours ago? He's only going to miss the first game. Do the Jets need to, address cornerback? Do they need to add some more depth there? Or
It's one
are
game.
you guys comfortable with Bryce Hall?
They just picked up the kid Guidry.
Yeah,
They got Guidry back.
Or Guidry back, but it's one game, man. It's not a free for all out there, especially with the defensive backs way that they've been played on the solid. So
Michael Carter's.
Yeah. One game, and you keep it moving.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're deep enough. We should be all right for a game.
It was just like if he went down with an ankle injury for the game. It's not a big deal. You got enough depth at that position where they're good to go.
I was worried when I saw that he got suspended. That it was one of those because I saw they have these gambling related suspensions that are coming in now. I thought maybe he like popped a bet in the locker room or something like that. So a lot of that's been going around, but I was happy it wasn't that.
Last question we got is for Rob. Thoughts on Denzel Mims?
It's curious to me, what's going to go on during training camp. Because I think I've explained to you guys, or said to you guys, quite a few times, he's a curious player, because we know he can make big plays down the field, but how well is he going to understand playing with Aaron Rodgers? Is going to be the question, and especially when Aaron now has a couple of his guys here that can fill out the roster. So he's not really in the conversation that I'm seeing right now as far as being one of the guys that's going to be on the field a lot. So it's going to be curious to see what happens during camp early, to see how many reps he's getting early, because he's definitely not a special teams guy. So, this is going to be one of those things, man, where, it might be that year where he actually gets traded.
That's what I was. Definitely.
That's on my radar right now for him,
Yep.
because I don't think he'll be able to crack the top 5 right now, the way the team is actually constructed right now.
They got tight ends.
Yeah.
Multiple. They got wide receivers, multiple. They got defensive ends, multiple. There's something gonna brew come July, August.
You got five receivers.
Who's your 5th?
It's basically ahead of him. Guys are forgetting about Mecole Hardman here, man. He's focused.
So a monster year, that kid.
And then you have 3 to 4 tight ends that are there. So, that's like 7 targets right there for one ball, and Mims is not in that conversation. So
your 5th is Randall Cobb.
Yes, Cobb is going to be the 5th guy, and I'm saying he's going to be the 5th guy because he can return punts.
That's your 5th guy.
He can return punts. So even if he's just out there just to fair catch the ball, he's the guy that's going to be back there unless they bring somebody in during camp. But Mims is not in that conversation right now, so it's going to be tough for him to get on the field. So I expect the trade to happen during camp.
All right,
I was trying to find out. I'm like the leading collector on the planet when he came out of college of Denzel Mims football cards, man. Like Denzel Mims, I went out and I literally bought. I was bored. The pandemic had just pretty much started, and I loaded up on all his best cards. I have like his 1-of-1 rookie autos and all kinds of crazy shit. I'm invested in Denzel Mims probably more than anybody on this planet that's not have the last name Mims. And and he probably even more than his agent at this point. But so I'm hoping he gets on the field at some point, but it's not looking like it's going to be here, unfortunately.
All right, sounds good. We'll start to wrap it up. Kyle, thank you for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you to everybody in the chat as well. This was awesome.
You're the man, Kyle.
Talk
You're
to
the
you guys
man.
again next Thursday.
Good to see
Appreciate you guys. Go Jets.
Absolutely.
Go Jets. Let's go.